Guys, welcome to another episode of 911 Health and Fitness. Today we're going to be talking about being locked up, what's been happening. We're going to talk exactly about what it's like to be cooped up and then eating too much and getting outside of the range that you need to be in. Let's talk about it 911 style. Been a number of days where we've basically been told that we're not supposed to leave the house. So my wife and I and our family are following those recommendations almost to the T. We don't want to be, again, in spite of whatever you think, whether it's over, whether it was too much, now that we're being asked to do it, let's do it. Hopefully they call it quickly. But in the meantime, most of us are in our house and we're probably eating way too much. At least I know I am. So let's talk about it quickly. Again, every time I talk about your BMI, I get so much pushback. And usually I try to maintain a weight between 160 and 180. So that's a 20-pound range. I think it's a pretty healthy range. I'm 6'1", 55 years old. So I think that's a great range to be in. I've been as high as 250 when I've been working out and trying to get all muscle bound and everything when I was a police officer. And as low as about 157 lately when I did a little fast. And those numbers went down. Now to be honest, I think when I took my blood work, remember I talked about this last time, that my TSH levels were a little bit elevated. And I say a little bit elevated, double from where they're supposed to be. And I wasn't able to put on any weight. And then I started taking some iodine supplementation. And now I just feel like my weight is a little bit normal. That means I'm able to put on weight fairly easy, as you would think, depending on the food that you're eating, the amount that you're eating. One of the things that I find crazy is that when people tell me they don't like to use a scale because it frustrates them, it makes them feel like they're chained up. People say break free of the scale. The scale is just a simple tool to use. I don't understand why you would want to break free from the scale. It's ridiculous. Just think about it. It's just a tool to let you know whether you're gaining weight or losing weight. If you would have told me that I was weighing 179 pounds when I weighed myself, I would have told you no way. In my mind, I was probably at 170, 169 even, if you would have told me how much. And then I look and I'm 10 pounds heavier. So that's what happens when you start eating some more snacks and you start eating some more junk food, regardless of whether it's healthy junk food. There's that episode right there where I talk about healthy junk food. But it doesn't matter. If it's junk food and it's excess calories, it's not good for you. And at the end of the day, you're gonna start gaining some weight. And then on top of that, most of the junk food we eat is rarely that good food, right? I wasn't picking up carrots and celery and chomping on those things, right? I was grabbing the chips, I was grabbing the Nadamu ice cream, coconut milk ice cream, and the different choices that you have for healthier junk food. But at the end of the day, when you eat too much of it, more than that 20%, and I was probably getting into 40% of my calories were coming from this junk food. You got to pay attention. It puts on the weight and it puts it on quickly and it affects the entire system. It's no good. So we got to watch ourselves, especially during this lockdown that we're in. So maybe I would be able to make up for it a little bit by hitting, the beach and doing my extra walks there that I like to do, that you can help mitigate when you're eating too much, right? But I went 2 years of not working out at all to prove to you, to everybody, that with a healthy diet, with a healthy eating strategy, that's what it takes to lower and maintain your weight. Remember, the exercise portion is to keep your body fit. The eating part is to keep yourself healthy. Here's this video I did about health versus fitness. It's super important that you understand what you're eating all the time matters. And so you need one of the things to use is that scale. Weigh yourself 2 to 3 times a week. That's my recommendation. Take a photograph of it. That way you can always look back and sit there and say, okay, now you're photographing what you're eating, right? And you're photographing your scale. So now it's very easy to look back, hey, what have I been eating lately? Oh yeah, I ate that, I ate this, and look how it's reflecting on the scale, right? When you're losing weight, you look back and you say, okay, what was I eating back then? So it's very easy for you to fine tune your life when it comes time to your health by what you eat, by just those 2 simple tools, right? Photographing what you're eating. It means everything you eat, whatever you're gonna snack on, just take a photograph. That's for your own personal record, right? You can stick that in a folder. And then when you go back and look at the scale, you can go back and look at the same date of the food you were eating. And that gives you a great picture of what you're doing. And that's how I was able to go back and look at my own pictures. Even though I haven't been posting them online, I am now. You'll be able to see how that affects my weight. So I'm at 174, like I said this morning, and hopefully I want to get down to the 170s. You know, I'd rather be hovering about 168 to 172 in that range, and that way I don't have to worry about, you know, when I want to cheat, when somebody invites me to go do something, I know that I'm in my proper BMI, so that way I can enjoy that one moment and not worry about it, right? Because when you don't have control of the moments, that's what ends up happening. Things get out of control, and next thing you know, I'm 190 pounds. If I pick 170 as my baseline, 190 is a 20-pound difference. I don't want to be fluctuating that much. That's 10 pounds over what I said my limit was. So you need to pick an upper limit and a lower limit, and you want to stay in the middle of those two limits. So a BMI does that exactly. It's got your upper limit, it's got your lower limit. You pick right there in the middle, and you stay healthy right there in the middle. Again, for professional athletes, or if you're making money living outside of your BMI, then that makes sense, because that's only going to be for a short time. When you're done with that career opportunity or choice or whatever it is that's causing you to live outside of your BMI, when that's done, you go back to living within your BMI, and you should be fine. I'm telling you, you got a lot of football players, a lot of weightlifters, a lot of different people who are living very unhealthy lives because they're making a living from it. If you're not making a living from being outside your BMI, there's no reason then to be outside your BMI. I know I personally don't want to be on this earth with a diaper, semi-unconscious, in a bed somewhere, locked in a room, where a nurse comes in and changes me and spins me over and washes me down with a sponge, and then that's not for me. So I'm gonna fight every step of the way to make sure that I'm healthy and I'm fit. I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm gonna be in this condition the day I die, God willing. It's gonna take a lot for this not to happen, because I'm just not gonna stop. You just don't stop. And again, I'm not doing a lot. I'm just doing it consistently. I'm doing it throughout my day as a normal way of living. I've restructured my life so that being healthy is a priority. Just like when you have children, you retool, you restructure your life so that those children have an environment where they can thrive, right? So my whole house has been turned upside down in the last 3.5 years because of my 2 new children, right? So I went from being single to having 2 children, well, a total of 6, but now 2 new ones. So that's taken a whole restructuring, it's taking a whole retooling of my life. The same thing needs to be done when it comes time to your health. It's restructuring and retooling, not of a minute or two, but of your entire life. So that's what it takes. You've got to retool your life, you've got to restructure your life. And very few people get to the point where they reach that awakening and they sit there and say, yeah, this makes sense. There's no reason why I got to get old and frail and weak, because just a certain number of years has passed by. There's no reason for it. We can stay healthy and fit to the day we die. Live young, live long, die healthy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Share with your friends on social media. Guys, until we see each other again, stay safe and stay healthy.